Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day. In today's video, I wanted to do another halo look, but with purple and blue this time. I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you do, please give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button so you can see more of my videos. Anything I use will be listed down in the description box below. If you'd like to see how I do this, then keep on watching. I'm going to be using two palettes for this look. I'm going to be using the Morphe and James Charles palette and the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill palette. And as usual, I will put a picture somewhere around me so you guys can see what colors I am using, just in case you're not familiar with the palettes and if you're curious about recreating it. For this look, I'm going to use the Morphe E18 brush, and I'm starting with the Morphe and James Charles palette, and I'm going to go into the darkest purple shade, which is called Escape. And I'm going to use this brush to just pack this color into that outer corner, and I'll also be using it to pack into that inner corner. I actually got inspired to do this look from the last video that I did. It was a green halo look. For this one, I wanted to do a purple one. And the reason I decided to do a purple look was because I was just looking at the Morphe and James Charles palette and like all the colors that he put into it. And I just really wanted to do a purple one, just like I was doing the green one. But this one's gonna be a bit different. I'm not gonna just do a monochrome. To blend out this dark purple, I'm gonna use a lighter purple color in the Morphe and James Charles palette with a Morphe blending brush. And this shade name is called Single. And I'm just gonna start creating the shape that I want with these two colors. For the inner part, I'm gonna use a smaller blending brush. And I'm just gonna use really small motions to blend this inside out, because I've started to notice that when I do my makeup, I kind of blend it up a little too much. And I don't like the shape that it makes for my eye. It makes my eye look bigger. And I kind of like my eyes to look more like, not squinted, but like winged out. And I've noticed that I don't really go with that focus a lot. So I'm gonna try to use a smaller brush in this inner corner, because I think I'm just using bigger brushes and it's just making it blend out too high. For some reason this inner corner is blending out a lot better than the outer corner. I think I'm gonna try using the same brush for the outer side instead of the other one and see if that helps blend that out. I haven't decided yet if I want to sweep it up over top of this inner part or just leave it blank like that, but I haven't decided yet. Because the way I did the green is I did like, because I know a halo look has that part sweeped over top, but I don't know if I want to do that. And I got inspiration for this look off of Pinterest, which is where I get most of my inspiration from. And like a lot of people were doing this like purple and blue combination, and I just thought it was so cute, so I wanted to try it myself. I was gonna do an all purple when I was like looking at the purples in this shade, in this palette, but I changed my mind. I'm gonna go back into that Escape shade with that E18 brush and just pack that purple back in. I'm doing this because I want to build up those colors to be a bit darker, and I'm just working slowly. That way I know I'm blending it out very well. Going back in with that Single shade and that small blending brush again, I'm just gonna blend out that dark purple and just make sure everything's blended really nicely. This is a very pigmented color, so I don't think I'm gonna need to go into it very many times, but I do wanna make sure it's well blended. I thought the hardest part about these videos was keeping up with the schedule and like putting myself online, basically. But I really think the hardest part of doing this is trying to think of what to talk about. I changed my mind. I'm going to take that Single shade, and I am going to connect this top part right here to make it a complete halo, just because I think it'll look better. And I kind of want to give it a cut crease in the center part. But anyways, the hardest part I think about making these videos is trying to figure out what to talk about. Like, I try to plan ahead so I know what videos I'm gonna do and like what makeup look I'm gonna do and what exactly I'm going to say. But like, I'm not the type of person that I don't talk a lot. I don't make conversation with like the people around me very much, except for like my friends and my husband. So trying to think of something to say and like something to talk about while I'm sitting in front of a camera by myself, I think is the hardest part. Like, I think making the schedule, figuring out what look I want to do, how I'm gonna do it, keeping up with the schedule of just doing 2 videos a week, and then like my other job that I'm doing. Like, I don't think that's that hard. I think the hardest part is just sitting in front of the camera and trying to think of something to say. I'm gonna take that small blending brush and I'm gonna put a little bit of that Escape shade on there because I want to darken this up because I just don't feel like it's dark enough. And I'm just gonna do a windshield wiper motion. I think I'm at like 38 videos this year. So like I started this year, if you're just now like watching my videos, I just started doing this year in January. And so I'm only on like my 38th video. So I'm pretty sure the more videos that I do, the more comfortable I get in front of the camera, the more comfortable I get at like figuring out what to say and like having more things to talk about. But right now it's like really hard because I'm just beginning. So I know I don't have very many people that watch me, and I definitely don't have like a consistent amount of people watching me. And I know that once like you start getting people that consistently watch you, like they like to interact with you. And I'm hoping that if that starts happening, that like I'll have more people that interact with me, like through the comments, through my social media, and that will like, you know, give me things to talk about, you know? Like I feel like that will start sooner or later. The concealer I'm going to use to create the cut crease is the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer in the shade Light Ivory. And I'm just going to put this on the back of my hand so I have some to work with. The brush I'm using for this is a 421 brush. And I'm just going to cut the crease on this middle section. Usually I clean it up with some like micellar water, but I didn't really think I needed to. So I'm just going to use the concealer because I don't have a lot of eyeshadow that I'll need to work with. And honestly, when it comes to making a halo, like I like to blend like the outer sides. So if I get a little bit of concealer, like kind of right there where I didn't want it to go, I'm not gonna worry about it too much because I'm gonna go back in with those first shades that I use and fix the shape and fix where I might have messed up. Because I want this to have a more defined line right above that cut crease. I'm gonna go back in with a 213 brush and that Escape shade, and I'm going to define this line where the concealer isn't completely straight. And I'm gonna add a little bit more concealer just to give it a really sharp line. Now that I have the concealer cleaned up the way I want to, I'm gonna go into the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill palette, and I'm gonna go into the shade Pool Party. I like using my finger for shimmer shades, so I'm using my finger. Now we'll go in with the brush afterwards. And I'm just gonna place this right on top of the concealer. Using a 213 brush, I'm gonna go into the Pool Party shade and start placing it in the spots where my finger really couldn't get into it. The reason I use my finger is I just feel like it puts the shimmer on a lot thicker than a brush does. I feel like a brush just kind of puts like a sheer like layer on, and I just don't think it does as good of a job. But you can use a brush too. Something else you can do is wetting a brush also helps, but that really depends on the kind of shimmer. Because I've had a palette that I was using, and I used a brush, and I usually use a setting spray, but you can use water as well. But I used a setting spray and it like changed the color of the shimmer shade when it got wet. So be very careful with what shimmer shade you guys use, just because it might change colors. So just know your shimmer shades before you do it. Using a Morphe M160-1/16 brush, I'm gonna go into that Escape shade and I'm gonna sharpen up that purple one more time now that I have the shimmer shade on there, because it's still not as sharp as I'd like it to be. Taking that same small blending brush, I'm gonna go into that Escape shade again, and I'm just gonna blend that edge out where that purple and that blue meet. And I'm just gonna slowly blend them together. Now I'm not really trying to blend the blue out, as in just kind of blurring that line where those two colors meet. And this is something you want to do very slowly, because if you put too much on there, it will cover that shimmer shade too much. I'm using a mix of small little windshield wiper motions and tapping. That way I'm really working to get that blended out. I am really glad that I did this combination because I don't think I would have liked the monochrome purple as much as I like the little touch of blue. I really think this is a cute combination. And to make sure that blue really pops in that center, I'm gonna go back in with that 213 brush. And I'm only gonna put this Pool Party shade right in that middle. I'm not really gonna go anywhere else since I just blended all of that purple out, because this shimmer shade will just cover it up. When it comes to blending, don't be afraid to just go in between all your brushes and just make sure that everything is blended as much as possible. Nothing can be too blended, because I feel like I've gone back in like 2 or 3 different times. Now I'm done with this eye. I'm going to clean up the shape, and then I'm going to do the other eye, do the rest of my face, and I'll be back to finish the look. This is what it looks like with both eyes done and my face done. Now I'm going to move to my under eye. Off camera, I use the NYX Professional Makeup Vivid Brights eyeliner in the shade WeHo. Not for sure if I'm saying that right. It's spelled W-E-H-O. It's like a teal color. Using a pointed BS Mall brush, I'm going to use that Escape shade, and I'm going to start working that on my outer corner under my eye and on the inner corner of my eye, leaving that middle section open. I do think that if I had a purple eyeliner pencil, it probably would have looked better if I did like the same thing on my waterline, but I only had a teal, so I figured that would be better than nothing. But I think it would have looked better if I was able to like replicate what I'm doing right now on my waterline. Using a Mehron Paradise Makeup AQ812 brush, I'm going to go into that single shade, and I'm going to blend that darker purple out. Using that 213 brush, I'm going to use that Pool Party shade and put that right in the center where I skipped while putting on the purple. And I'm trying to line up that blue with what I have on the top. Off camera, I did a simple wing with the NYX, oh my goodness, sorry, NYX Epic Ink Liner in the shade Black. And I also did my mascara off camera. I do have lash extensions, so I'm only putting it on the lower lash. And I'm using the Benefit Their Real Mascara. I'm gonna go with my favorite highlighter on this. It is the Nikkie Tutorials Highlighter Trio, and it's the shade Donut. I'm using a 518 brush for this. And the reason I'm using this highlighter is because it's like a silver shimmery, like a white highlighter. And I just feel like if I used any kind of color highlighter, it would be too much. I'm also gonna use, I think I put too much on my, I can see it in the viewfinder. I think I put too much on my lips, oopsies. I'm also gonna use this on my inner corner, just to make a highlighted point. I'm also gonna put it on my brow bone, oopsies. For my nose highlighter, I'm just gonna use my finger again, just because my favorite brush that I use for my nose is dirty, and I don't wanna clean it off. Used to use my nose for my entire face when it came to highlighter, but I've started using a brush. For lip liner, I'm going to use the Ofra lip liner in the shade Silk. Fun fact, I had to sharpen this with a knife because I don't have a lip liner sharpener. For lipstick, I'm going to use the Velour Liquid Lipstick by Jeffree Star Cosmetics, and it's called Christmas Cookie. And because I want to give this more of a gloss, I'm going to use the Stay Glossy by Rimmel London. The shade name is, I think, Swingin' Mandarin. So that is the completed look. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I like hearing y'all's feedback, so please comment down below with anything you'd like to tell me or any future videos you'd like to see. Until next time, bye.